Hi folks, this is Scott Ryan here, and I have some rather sad news to give to you. I had a fellow who made a comment the other day in one of my other videos here on YouTube, and this is what it said. Recently my wife and I lost our home to aluminum wiring fire. Very devastating to her and the kids. Please people, get your homes thoroughly inspected. From a fellow by the name of Patrick O'Keefe, and I'm going to give you the link to that video so that you can see his comment for yourself. Now, I have met 3 people, 2 of them whose homes almost burnt down. One was a fire in a kitchen that got out of hand, and fortunately the guy had the wherewithal to turn off the breaker and deal with the fire. The other one was a couple that attended one of my live seminars and came specifically to reinforce the message to people that attended at least to the seminar that they should have their houses repaired, because they came home from a May-long weekend and they're about ready to go to bed on a Monday night and they smelt what they thought was a campfire. And they got up and they looked and there was smoke along the ceiling. They called the fire department right away, and there was a fire in their attic. The firemen told them that the house was minutes from being fully engulfed. And so that was a close one. I also have that video on this YouTube. And it's one called Near-Death Experience for Calgary Couple, if you want to take a look at that one. I also met a fellow in Calgary when I was delivering flyers in the neighborhood to get the message out, and he told me he didn't have it. He just appeared at the door, and I asked him if he had aluminum wiring, and he said, no, I didn't. I made sure I didn't when I bought this house, because I had a house burned down in Ontario from aluminum wiring, bad connections. And then we got this poor fellow here, Patrick O'Keefe, who's putting this message out there, and this has got to be heart-rendering, folks. This is not a message from me or from anybody else. This is from a fellow whose home actually burned down. They lost their home. And it's a very brief message, and apparently, at least it sounds to me like nobody got hurt. At least I hope not. And I responded to him by asking if he would maybe have a chat with me. I'd love to interview him and find out a little bit more about it. So I can put the message out to people from a person who really had this problem happen. I had an interview with that couple where their house nearly burnt down in Calgary, with the ceiling, with the attic fire. And I would love to get this fellow's story, but if I don't, please take it to heart. This is very serious stuff, and all I can do is try and put this message out as best I can to people, to you. And now that you've heard it, you have the responsibility to make sure that you do something about it. At least have an electrician come out and take a look to see if indeed you do have aluminum wiring. And at the risk of sounding opportunistic, I have put together a webinar where you can attend and learn everything about. It's the final word on how to repair aluminum wiring. And quite frankly, folks, according to the top scientist in North America, Dr. Aronstein, and although it should be repaired by an electrician, it is fairly straightforward to make these repairs, and certainly more affordable doing it with the only 2 products that he has approved and the United States government through the CPSC has approved to make repairs to the wiring so that you don't have to replace it all with copper wiring. They're safe, and well, if you want to, you can go to aluminumwiringrepair.com and you can sign up for that webinar. Again, I hate to sound like I'm trying to take advantage of it, but I feel that my responsibility to get the message out to you is more important than what you may think of me, in taking advantage of this situation. That's not the case at all. But in any event, my prayers go out to this guy. I don't know when it happened. I don't know how long ago this happened. I don't know how they've recovered from it or whatever. I hope he responds. I'd love to have a chat with him. But our hearts and prayers, at least mine do, and I hope that you guys would too as well for this fellow and his family. Please subscribe. I'm at 71 at the moment, and I need 100, a lousy 29 more, so that I can name this YouTube channel. It's got a ridiculous thing now, and it's hard to refer anybody to it. I would love to call it something else that makes much more sense pertaining to aluminum wiring. So if you can help me out here to get the message out, please subscribe. It doesn't cost anything, and apparently it doesn't really notify you too much anyway. Anyway, thank you very much for listening.